Do you think that losing weight and keeping it off is impossible? A lot of people do. So today we're going to talk about that, and I hope you stay tuned because it's not as impossible as you might think it is. All right, guys. So welcome to my channel if you are new, and a welcome back if you've been around here a while. I'm Kendra. This is Kind Kendra Creates. This is my space for sharing my weight loss journey with you, a couple of tips along the way, some commentary, and hopefully you'll learn some stuff about me too. So today we are going to get into a video from the creator Obese. I've talked about him on my channel before, and he usually does kind of like reviews of other videos of other people. But today we're going to talk about him sharing his experience. So if you don't know, he's lost a large amount of weight and he's kept it off for a very long time. So he put a post on Instagram, and we're going to talk about like his opinion and things he has to say about losing weight and things like that. So I think we're going to get straight into it. Yeah, I don't have to preface this with anything. We're going to get straight into it.
It says 10 years separate these photos. So that is true. This is when I was around 19 to 20 years old, and I am now almost 30 in November, right? So about 10 years between these pictures right here. I have been able to keep my weight off for 10 years, which this is obviously something that not a lot of people are able to do. If you are on the internet a lot right now, you will see that there's a lot of people that claim that you cannot lose weight for 5 years. And it's sad because there is a massive amount of people that do lose a lot of weight and they don't keep it off, right? Which I hate, and it makes me very sad.
So, I mean, he's done amazing. He's done an amazing job. He made a tremendous transformation. He has lost weight and kept it off. And I know that a lot of people, especially those associated with the fat acceptance movement, they say you can't keep the weight off. They say you can't lose weight. And if you do lose weight, you won't be able to keep it off. And if you're able to keep it off, you won't be able to keep it off over a year, over 2 years, over 5 years, over 10 years. They're very negative when it comes to weight loss. They're very negative about people that want to lose weight. And I think this negativity has changed people's opinions on losing weight, weight loss, keeping it off, working towards just like overall health in general. And I think people should be aware that there are people out there that have lost the weight. There are people out there that have kept the weight off. And that is very possible. And I mean, seeing people that have actually done it is very encouraging, especially for those people like myself who've been in a constant cycle of up and down, lose weight, keep it off, gain it, lose weight, gain it some more. So it's very encouraging. It's very encouraging for myself that people are actually doing this, regardless of what anyone says, regardless of whatever 1940 study says that people are going to ultimately regain the weight that they lost.
And so I'll say there are some people out there that will say it's basically impossible to do what I've done. And truthfully, I understand where they're coming from. I think that this is where a lot of people might disagree with me, right? Because there are a lot of people that have done what I've done, that have lost weight and kept it off. And because they have done it themselves, they think everyone should be able to do this. I don't agree with that fully, and I will try and explain that a little bit later. And I think there are reasons why it might be more difficult for someone to lose the weight and keep it off for that amount of time, right? We have spent many years as a nation focusing on quick fixes and miracle cures to the weight epidemic.
I think he brought up a very good point about the quick fixes and the miracle cures. We live in basically a microwave society. We want results just like that. And I think that anyone who's tried to lose weight or are currently losing weight, like myself, you have to get that out of your mindset. Otherwise, you are going to drive yourself crazy, comparing yourself to others, wondering why you aren't losing fast enough, wondering what's wrong with you. It's just very disheartening. So I think we have to do a lot of reprogramming for those that are trying to lose weight or for those that are on a weight loss journey, because the quick fixes, the miracle cures, those are the things that do not allow us to keep the weight off. Those are the things that put us in a cycle of lose weight, gain weight, lose weight, gain weight. Those are the things that make us feel like we can never lose weight, that we can never keep it off. Because those are the things that once you resume a normal pattern of eating or a normal type of lifestyle, it doesn't adjust with you. You can't fit that in to your everyday lifestyle. And that is the problem. Not only is that the problem, but the whole losing weight fast and I have to put up these big numbers every week, and if I plateau for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months, like me, I literally did not lose weight, y'all, for 2 entire months. I felt very defeated. Yes, I did. I didn't want to give up, but I was like, dang, what's wrong with me? And I think that we have to get out of that mindset, because there are no quick fixes. There are no miracle cures. There are no magic pills. Even with the medication that I'm on, even with getting weight loss surgery, even whatever you're doing, there's no just, I'm cured, I'm fixed. I never have to worry about this or I never have to worry about that. And that is not the case. With everything that you see, they are still recommending a well-balanced diet. They are still recommending exercise. So we have to get out of our minds that it's going to be a quick fix. It's going to happen. It's going to be an amazing cure. It's going to boo, 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 boo. No, that's not the case. You have to work towards it, and it will take a while. And it will also continuously take work to maintain.
I think it's time we start focusing on more than just fat people, lazy, and eat too much.
Oh, this is a big one. Fat people are lazy and they eat too much. My, how we've heard of this before. There are so many layers to the reason why people are overweight. There are so many reasons, and it is just more than move more, eat less, move more, eat less. Well, if you continue to restrict your calories and reduce the amount of calories, there's no way that you can continue to lose weight if you're going under 1,200. I mean, you think it's just a simple mathematic equation? It's not. There are so many other factors at play. And it's definitely not an excuse, but I take responsibility for my part in me not being able to lose weight. But I was always overweight. So when I was 5 and 6 years old, whose fault was it then? I've never known how to eat properly. I've never had a very physically active family or environment. Obviously, everyone in my family is pretty much overweight, so it's not like I'm just an anomaly. So there are a lot of factors that are working against people, and I think that we need more empathy towards people that are struggling with their weight and those that do want to lose weight. Because we can't just say, you need to get your lazy self off the couch. You need to do this, you need to do that, you need to put the food down. Because y'all, I was doing that. In 2 months, I didn't lose anything. And my husband is here with me every day and he can attest. He sees what I eat. He knows how hard I work and go to the gym and drink my water and eat my salads and do all these things that you're supposed to be doing. And he would probably shake his head and be like, I don't know. And see, so that's why we have to have more empathy as people in general, to not just point the finger and say, you're being lazy, you're doing this, you're doing that, because it's much deeper than a lot of people think it is.
I lost my weight 10 years ago. I'm not trying to lose weight anymore. I understand I cannot serve the people that are trying to lose weight the same way that I was able to serve them when I was losing weight or when I had just lost weight, when it was very new to me.
I am so glad that he was able to be very transparent with his audience and even slightly vulnerable, that he is a completely different person than he was when he started his weight loss journey, when he was going through his weight loss journey, and even immediately after his weight loss journey. And he knows that the way that he thinks and the way that he feels will carry over to his audience in a certain way. So he's not able to help someone, he is able to help people in a different way. And I appreciate his honesty, because a lot of times people that have never struggled with their weight, they have never had a weight issue, they have never had a weight problem, they think that it's very simple and very easy, and they can offer this grand advice, like fit personal trainers that have always been fit, that have never had a weight problem. Like, you can only offer your advice from one lens. And I think that we need people that can offer advice and give tips and assist, that have been there before, that have lived with somebody who's been there before, that has kept the weight off for a long time, because he's looking now through a completely different lens. And that can be helpful for people as well. I can give a different perspective now as a woman that is in her 30s, that has lost a large amount of weight, that is still losing weight. I can give a very different perspective versus a man, versus someone with no children, versus someone who does not work a 9 to 5, versus someone who is in their 20s. I have a very, very different perspective on losing weight. And so hopefully the knowledge that I have, the experience that I have, can carry over to people who are similar to me, that might work a 9 to 5, that might have children in a very busy schedule, that have maybe lost a large amount of weight and they're still losing weight and they're trying to search for motivation to keep going, or whatever the case may be. So I think that it was great that he thought about like his limitations and kind of like where he sees things now and how he can continue to help people, even though it's from a different perspective.
And I think it's really important, and I have gotten to a point now where I think I understand that just because something worked well for me, that doesn't mean that it's going to work, for someone else. I do believe that. Another thing that I think is important is to look at the systemic things that are going on. Understand that not everyone is in the same position. We're not starting from the same position. We're just not, right?
And you guys know, if you've ever watched any of my videos, I talk about it all the time, how we are totally different human beings. And because of that fact, what works for one person does not work for another person. I can sit here in every single video and tell you every single thing that I've done, and you may not find any success with anything. And versus someone else you might see, and you might say, hey, they did this worked for me, it was excellent, bam. So I think a lot of people give up before they give things a fighting chance, because what works for me will not work for other people, because we have so many different things going on with ourselves. And he alluded to also the different factors that make up your ability to lose weight, to keep it off, to be successful on your weight loss journey. 2 things that he talked about in the video that I didn't give a clip to, but of course I'll have the full video link in the description and you can go watch him talk about those things. But he talked about money and support. He talked about those things being a large factor in someone's weight loss journey. And they are. People that come from a low socioeconomic status may live in a food desert, and they may have trouble accessing fresh fruits and vegetables. They also may lack a certain level of education. So it may be difficult for them to know about nutrition, to understand how our bodies work and things like that. So a lot of people that don't have money are very disadvantaged in this. And you might say, hey, well, if they don't have money, then how are they eating all these food? And because unhealthy food, fast food is cheap and readily accessible and convenient. I guarantee you, I can go right now on the south side of Chicago, on the west side of Chicago, and every single corner, I will see a convenience store. I will see a liquor store. I will see a McDonald's. Will that convenience store have organic kale and vegetables? Probably not. And neither will that liquor store, and McDonald's obviously does not have that. So it's difficult for people to have access to those things and also access to support. And these are the reason that I'm making these videos. So people can get support, people can get motivation, people can see that losing weight is possible and getting healthy is possible, and learning about nutrition and eating a nutritionally sound diet, it's possible. But I think that we should be aware, though, that everyone does not have the privilege that we have. And I am privileged to live in an area where I can just walk down the street and there's a grocery store that has an array of everything that I need, that I have money and I can go buy these things and I don't have to worry about, where my next dollar is coming from, that I have high-speed internet access and I have basically all the knowledge at my fingertips, that I have a certain level of education to where I can look things up and I know how to read and I know how to understand information. And so I have to think to myself that I am very privileged. A lot of us are very privileged. And these are the aspects and the things that people do not think about when we're talking about the problems with obesity, and especially with children. I was obese as a child, and those things I did not have access to. Back in those days, I didn't even have internet, but also I was a child. So how was I supposed to cook my own food and go to the grocery store and learn about nutrition and go to the doctor and go to the dietitian? How was I supposed to do all that? Yeah. So this whole obesity epidemic thing, it's a really, really deep, and there are a lot of layers to the reasons on why it exists.
I think at the end of the day, regardless, and this is important, of how much change we have in the systems, how much we change for whatever thing, if the person is not willing to put in the work, none of it matters, right? So I do think that teaching people all of the things that I talk about, and I'm not going to stop talking about on my channel when it comes to losing weight, when it comes to being in a deficit, understanding total daily energy expenditure, finding out foods that are lower in calories than maybe you thought that trail mix was a great thing. And then you realize, oh my God, there's, all of those little tips and tricks are important, because once you take that personal responsibility, it will be, it is important. You need that personal responsibility if you are going to go and lose weight and decide to make that change.
And I think this is a great ending to wrap everything up with a cute little bow. We do have to be responsible for our actions and our decisions. And I think that is probably the first step that we need to take. No matter all of the adversity I faced growing up and all of the issues that I had and that I continue to have throughout my life, I am taking a responsibility that once I became an adult, I did not make the best decisions, that I did not seek mental health treatment, that I did not properly educate myself on nutrition, that I did not do a lot of the things that I should have done to lose weight and to get in better health. And now that I am creeping on up to the beautiful age of 40, I take full responsibility for the way that I've lived my life. And the beauty about being human and the beauty about, living with the privileges that I have, I can now make those changes. And I can do what I need to do to lose weight and live a healthy lifestyle. Oh my goodness. So I just want to encourage you to do the same thing too. I think a lot of it starts with accepting responsibility for your actions. Don't beat yourself up about it, but also know that you can change. That whole entire mindset shift. I love it. And if you love this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Make sure you hit that like button. And also, if you want to keep hearing these types of commentary videos that I have on my channel, go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you here. And if you feel fancy, go ahead and leave a comment for me. I love reading your comments. I make sure to respond to all of them, even the not so nice ones. And sometimes I respond to those. Sometimes I block people from the channel because we ain't about that type of life around here, because I always want you guys to make sure you spread kindness in a world full of hate. So keep on doing that, and I will see you guys on the next time. Thank you so much for supporting me and watching my videos.